This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
On people's DMs, celebrity DMs, people that are higher up and beg. But damn it, Jimmy! Finish this shit, please! I mentally can't handle a 3-0 comeback, man! Please!
That was actually me as I was traveling back and forth from Miami to Boston. Please end this. Please.
Jimmy going into his DMs, and there's a fan leaving him. Oh, man. Anthony Chiang joining us, folks. As we promised you, you can follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang and catch his work there at the Miami Herald. Better yet, do what I do. Subscribe to the Herald and support Anthony and all the terrific writers there. Anthony, did you cancel any vacation plans, by the way? Because I'm sure you and the wife might have been thinking about some kind of vacation here in the last month, about a month ago, when you thought this season was like the rest of us. We thought this season was going to end with the thump.
Yeah, actually, I had a vacation plan with my family next weekend, and my dad texted me after Game 7 in Boston. He goes, "I think I'm going to cancel that trip, at least your portion. I don't think you'll be able to go." I'm like, "No, I don't think I'll be going."
No.
So yes, I did have to cancel some vacation plans. Those will have to wait.
Yeah, I think I went to one of the games. I went to a concert at the same time, and some fan reaches out to me, dude, how could you go to a concert on the day of the whatever, one of the Eastern Conference games? Yeah. I'm like, dude, I had tickets for this like 6 months ago, brother. How did I know they would be even here at this? But
he were 2 games under 500 at that point.
Yeah, dude, a month ago, we're watching Atlanta, and we're thinking the season's just about to end, right? It was Atlanta that they were down in the fourth quarter with like 3 minutes, right?
Chicago, the Bulls.
I'm sorry, Chicago. Yeah. Right. That's right, Atlanta, right, yeah. Exactly. Yes, exactly. God bless. I mean, we're right there on the brink, and to think where we're at, brother. I mean, This is the craziest. Anthony, you're a little young for it, but it's like the 83 Canes. When they got there to Nebraska, Orange Bowl, and you're like, brother, you're up against the big power Nebraska, and you're just this, small private school that just showed up in the big stage for the first time ever. And you upset them 31-30 and going for it on fourth down and all that stuff, and you're able to stop them, and that was like the greatest thing, to overcome that. Mm-hmm. This reminds me a lot of that, that this is like the underdog story of all underdog stories.
Yeah, it's weird because the Heat entering the season, I'm not saying they were the favorite in the East, but they were considered one of the top teams in the East. They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They made the NBA Finals 4 years ago. But it is surprising. This is just so surprising to me, considering how mediocre they were in the regular season. They were just a mediocre team. You could even argue they were below average, considering they had a negative point differential. They had one of the worst offenses in the NBA, one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA. And all of a sudden, they're the best three-point shooting team in the NBA in the playoffs, have one of the better offenses. Their defense is obviously still very good. And they've just been – and it's not like they've had an easy path. I mean, Milwaukee, I know Giannis got hurt 2 games, but they dominated Milwaukee. New York, they were just better than New York. Boston has a good team, but the Heat were consistently the better team in that series, even though it went to 7 games. Just very, very impressive stuff from not only Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy. Those are the 2 leading, driving forces, but Bam has had his moments, but the supporting cast with Caleb, Max, Gabe, Duncan, but especially Caleb.
That's been a subject on here because, as you know, I love Bam, but I think he's a super role player. Is what I think he is. He's not a star. I'm sorry. Stars, they need to carry your team offensively in this kind of league now. To me, I keep saying Bam is UD and PJ Brown. Completely different players, all 3 of them, but they are the ideal 4th player on your team that you need them in order to win, because you got to have those kind of players on your team. But Caleb is the guy that I said a few weeks back. I said Caleb is the guy that has the potential to be a star, because in this, if you can't impose your offensive will, and by the way, Bam's thing, I don't know what it is, because it ain't ability. If he felt like it, he could drown you with a 16-footer, and I don't know why he doesn't do that.
Bam is very talented.
I have no idea why that guy does not just, oh, you're going to leave me open? Bam, 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 bam. I'm going to kill you with the 16-foot. And the second you come up, I'm going to go past you and dunk you or lay up or whatever. I don't know what, that press conference that you were at the other day, when he started saying Caleb's playing with swag, brother, I fucking lost it right there. Because I said, what's your swag, bro? I need your swag. You're such a nice guy. You don't bring swag. And you're talking about Caleb now playing with swag and that he never said 3 words. And, he was the guy that would act like he just woke up all day long, which was a hilarious line on his part and everything. But to me, the question is, Caleb, that's the guy that is growing up in this series and in these playoffs. And this is the guy that now all of a sudden is really, maybe he's the guy that's going to become that number 2 to Jimmy finally.
I still think Bam is a number 2. I do. I think he's the clear number 2, but I do think you can make a case that Caleb is turning him and Tyler Hero are like 3A and 3B if Hero's hurt. I mean, Hero's healthy.
Yeah, that's my problem with Hero. He hasn't been around for the last 2 postseasons, bro. You got availability's got to be something.
Sure. No, that's fair. That's fair. But Caleb, his improvement. I mean, he was a 28%, 29% 3-point shooter like 2 seasons ago.
Right. It's his brother, right? Isn't it his brother the one that supposedly has the better offensive skill set? Right? Correct.
Supposedly.
Right.
But Caleb was actually the better offensive player in college, and he's really quick to remind everyone of that. Of like, I was a scorer in college. Like, I could score the ball, and you're seeing some of those skills. I mean, not only can he shoot the ball, right? His shot has improved a lot, but his isolation game, where he can take guys off the bounce, and the way his layup package, like his finishing package, is just so athletic, and he's gotten so good about just finishing on the basket. It's just, they're different players, but Caleb reminds me a little bit of the Andre Iguodala role that he had in Golden State. Just like they got a two-way, just really, really good two-way player that just every championship team needs, I think Caleb really can be that guy. And for him to be on this contract for the next, next season.
Finally, a bargain contract because holy shit, the contracts have been bad ones lately, man. Been a lot
this
of
offsets
bad ones.
some of them. This offsets some of them because this is a great one of the best contracts in the NBA at this point.
Yes. Hey, by the way, any shot at stealing his brother away from the Hornets? Right, he's in the Hornets, right?
In the Hornets, though.
Yeah. Is he a free agent or something? Can they snatch him up or what? Because I'm sure he'll play better here than there.
I think Cody and Caleb were both free agents last year, and Cody re-signed with Charlotte, so he's under contract for a little bit. But I'm sure Cody and Caleb would love to play together. I think in the offseason they actually live together still. So if they can find a way to spend the season together, I'm sure they would love that. All
right, dude. How the hell do they win this? Because obviously I pissed off the Heat Nation. I went with Denver in 6. They're the better team. They're a more talented team. I'm not wavering, bro. I picked Milwaukee, and they lost. And I picked the Heat against the Knicks. They won. And then I picked the Celtics in 7. It's because I'm going with what I think is the better team. I think Denver's a better team. I picked them in 6. Please tell me how the hell I can be wrong, and how in the hell does Miami win this series? What do they do? Anthony Spoelstra?
They have to continue to make threes at a very good high rate. I mean, you're not going to really limit or shut down the Nuggets offense because you're not shutting down Jokic. They have one of the best offenses in the NBA, arguably the best offense in the NBA. Bam is talking about, and they asked Bam about defending Jokic, and he's like, well, just try to let him like take away his passing lanes, and that's when you get into trouble when he gets 12, 15 assists. Like basically just make him play as a scorer, which I think that he will try to do. But that means you're living with Jokic probably scoring 35 points, but you're okay with that if he gets like 5 assists, right? So you're not shutting down Jokic completely, but I think the Heat will try to leave Bam on an island. Bam's going to be very important in this series. He's going to have to try to make things tough on Jokic on both ends, right? He has to make things tough on the defensive end, but then he has to be aggressive and take advantage of Jokic on the offensive end and go at him, attack him. When Jokic is in the drop and gives him that space, like you're saying, Big O, take that mid-range shot, make him play up on you a little bit.
Yeah, we've been waiting for that for years now. We've been waiting for him to do that for years.
Bam has to take advantage of Jokic's defense. Jokic is very big. He has size around the rim, but Bam has the athleticism. And then Jimmy just has to have a great series.
Yes.
There are holes. While as good as Denver's offense is, their defense is not as good. They don't have a bad defense, but there are places where Jimmy can, places in the defense where he could pick on and take advantage of, whether it's getting Jamal Murray on a switch, which I'm sure we'll see a lot tonight. He'll call Jamal Murray up, call for a screen, and try to post up Jamal Murray, just like he did to the Celtics a bunch of times. That's going to be a big part of the Heat's offensive game plan. And then other than that, they just got to continue hitting threes, because if they go into another, to a 3-point shooting slump here in the finals and they shoot 30% or something from three, like they did at sometimes in the regular season, they have no chance. They have to continue to shoot 39, 40% like they've been doing in the postseason.
When I look at this matchup, this is going to be completely unfair and unrealistic on my part, and it's just not fair to the young man. But I almost feel that if you're going to win this series, again, here we go, Caleb Martin has to come close to matching Jamal Murray's production every night.
That's going to be tough because Jamal Murray,
I know,
averages close to 30 points a game.
So he's got to find a way to average 22, 24 is my point. And if Murray has a 20-point night, well, that's the night you got to have 26. You know what I mean? But I think you've got to kind of offset Murray, because it's going to take a whole village to then stop, Pope, Brown, and Jokic and Porter. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Aaron Gordon cutting around the rim. Yeah,
so you're going to need all the rest of the team to kind of offset. But you got two stars in Jokic and Murray, and it's hard to match up for Jokic. And we see Bam, he struggles against bigger, stronger centers. Right. That's something that he just never really plays well against. But Jamal Murray, to me, is the key. And if he's going off, then I think he creates a complete imbalance on this team. But if somehow or another, you're not going to really stop him, but if Caleb can have the kind of series that he just had now, again, I think that's going to be really, really, I know it's unfair to ask the young man that, but I almost feel like he's got to be 75% of Murray, dude. I really do.
That's a lot to ask of Caleb, I think. But I do think, he is going to be important. And I think he'll need at least two of their support, role players. I'm still considering Caleb a role player, even though he's played very, very well, to step up each game for the Heat to win. Like, they'll need not just Caleb, they'll need Caleb and Gabe, or Caleb and Max, or Caleb and Duncan, or Duncan and Gabe. Like, they're going to need at least two of those guys to step up around Bam and Jimmy to win these games, I think. Jimmy could average 35 points a game, and it might not be enough against this team. Right.
Yeah, that's what I think. And Jimmy's going to have to kill himself, and I think he will, actually. I think he's going to want to completely sell out. I'm hoping that
he has to.
3 days off. I hope he has some more legs, because it looked like he was losing his legs in that Celtics series towards the end, bro. It looked like he's a human being, bro.
It was every other day too. That's the thing with the East Finals. It was every other day. At least the NBA Finals, you have a couple of 2-day breaks here.
There's only one game. I think it's between game 4 and 5, right? Where there's one day. I went over
between games 3 and games 4. Game 3 and game 4, right? In Miami.
Yeah, games 3 and 4. It's a Wednesday and a Friday. Yeah. Exactly. That's the only time that you get, only one day, and you're in Miami that during that.
Right.
So you're sleeping in your own bed and all that kind of stuff.
You have your recovery systems. You have your facilities.
Yeah. So that at least is a positive. But you're right. All the other days, you're going to have multiple days off. Yeah. And that is huge for Jimmy compared to everybody else. Yeah. All right. So what did you pick in this series?
I didn't make an official prediction, but I think I kind of agree with you. I would say Nuggets in 6 probably. That's what my prediction would be. But at this point, I'm like done making predictions about the Heat, because
it was
you just throw everything out the window. It doesn't even matter anymore. Like they're gonna make things tough. I picked the Bucks to win that series by 5 games.
I picked the Bucks and the Celtics. I didn't pick. I picked the Heat and I picked the Heat against the Knicks.
Same,
actually. But I picked the Bucks, and they're the better teams, bro.
Right. But the Heat are executing on another level right now. Spo's one step ahead of every team. Now, Michael Malone is a really good coach, so this is probably the best coaching matchup the Heat have had this playoffs. But one thing I wanted to point out before I go This is one thing I'm really interested in. It's kind of nerdy, but the Jokic Murray pick and roll, that's basically Denver's offense. They get most of their offense out of that action. I'm really interested to see who starts out on Murray, because we know probably Bam will start on Jokic, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But who's starting out on Murray? Is it Gabe? Because if it's Gabe, you obviously can't switch that pick and roll. Gabe can't start out, can't switch on the Jokic. Is it Jimmy? Does Jimmy take the Murray assignment? And that way you could switch that pick and roll a little bit more. And
you can use Caleb off the bench.
Use Caleb
pick up
the
or
even Caleb on Murray. Or even Caleb on Murray, right?
Like
right.
It would have to be one of those two, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I mean, it could be Gabe. If they're going to just play drop and allow Bam to stick on Jokic and Gabe to stick on Murray, they could.
How many inches shorter is Gabe on Murray? I want to say 2 or 3 inches, right?
2 or 3 inches, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel very comfortable with Gabe trying to cover Murray.
I agree. I think it's
I'm putting so much weight of the world on Caleb. It is so unfair, but I just feel like he's that other guy, bro. I just feel he's that other guy.
So maybe it's Caleb. Maybe you have Caleb on
Caleb and Gabe, the heights. Gabe is 6'2". Caleb is 6'5", 3 inches. Yeah.
Okay.
And Murray is
like 6'4".
Yeah, I want to say he's 6'4", 6'5", because he's a pretty big guard. 6'4", yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would put Caleb on Jamal Murray, and then you have Jimmy maybe on Aaron Gordon playing as like a help defender, because Jimmy's so good in the passing lanes and he can help on Jokic, help on Murray. He's so good on that help spot, help position. You kind of help off of Aaron Gordon a little bit. So I think I would start Caleb on Jamal Murray, Bam on Jokic, and then you put Jimmy in that help side against Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, huh? For him, he must be sitting back there pinching himself, going, "Damn, dude, I was suffering with the Magic for years.
I know.
And now I'm here."
It's a good spot. I mean, he's a perfect fit for them, right? Because he's he's not a great shooter, but on that back line, when Jokic is throwing those alley-oops, when someone helps off of him, like it's just, and he's a really good defender. So
good garbage player, defender, good role player, just one of those guys that you need.
Versatile.
Yeah, exactly. The problem in Orlando is they kind of wanted him to be a frontline player.
Sure.
And that's just not his deal. His offensive game is just not that. That's his problem there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. Anthony, enjoy the game, my friend. Eventually, you'll get your vacation.
Thank you.
All right, my brother.
Soon enough. It'll be 2 weeks either way, right?
There you go. Exactly. All right, man. Be good. There you go. Anthony Chiang, baby, with a little